a heck of a lot out of you. And with all the different platforms that are out there and all the different changes that the platforms are doing, it can get exhausting. In fact, whether you're watching me live or you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments or in the chat right now, what platforms are you currently trying to keep up with right now? I'm going to tell you what are the top platforms that I focus on and why I focus on them. And I'm going to be sharing with you some of my tips on how to avoid that content creation burnout that we may be feeling. So, like I said, I am going to show you how I broke out of the content creation burnout and those tips that I've shared. My name is Trina Little. If you haven't caught me live before, this is a brand new series that I'm introducing here on my channel. I am on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram to meet you where you're hanging out. And this whole month, I'm going to be talking about content creation and how it fits into your schedule, along with all the other things you're doing as a business owner. Because I work in my YouTube production agency with multi six-figure, seven-figure entrepreneurs. And the balance that they are struggling is what to do with content creation versus clients and client work and course creation. So let me know in the comments right now, where are you trying to create content for right now? Are you trying to show up on like Instagram, just Instagram, YouTube, TikTok? I'm kind of wanting to get a sense of where y'all are showing up. I am going to be sharing all of the comments that I'm getting up here on YouTube. And I wanted to walk through, what we can do to really alleviate some of this burnout because I mean, Instagram is constantly changing. Instagram is telling us we need to do posts and reels, and then there's TikTok, and then there's YouTube, and there's all these things going on. And so, the first tip that I have for you on what I've done to really alleviate some of my burnout is making sure it shows up on my Instagram, on my YouTube. I got text and everything for YouTube, is to focus on one platform. Sounds a little offbeat, right? You've probably heard me talk a lot about multiplying your content, right? The video multiplier formula, multiply your content. And I'm going to tell you to just focus on one content to alleviate your burnout. Now, as a YouTube strategist, I'm going to tell you there's a better strategy for content creation than most strategies. And what I personally have focused on has been focusing my one platform on YouTube for a multitude of reasons. One, it's searchable. Hello, search traffic. Not only does it show up on YouTube, but it shows up on Google as well. But two, the other thing it does is it lives so much longer. This is why we're burning out on creating content because Instagram disappears our content within like 48 hours. That's an average lifespan of Instagram content. I have a video on my YouTube channel from 2019. In fact, November 2019, that still got me 1,300 views last month alone. Still builds my email list. And that's why I can actually take time off of content creation and not really see a difference. In fact, I was just looking at my YouTube analytics before I got on here from July. And I just posted my first video last week in July. So I literally only posted one video in July and two in June. I had the same amount of views on my YouTube channel in June and July as I did in May. And you're not going to say that for Instagram. If you take a month, if you take 6 weeks off of Instagram, it's kind of crickets over there. But YouTube, I continue to grow over 500 new subscribers. I think I had over 33,000 views overall on my YouTube channel when I didn't post content. And you know what those views are doing? Those views are going to my email list. Those views are buying my prep system, my $47 YouTube workflow system. And so without even spending ads, without even creating content, because of my YouTube content, I'm able to take time off and take a breather from that content creation hamster wheel because I'm focusing on search traffic and I'm focusing on content that lives longer than Instagram content. Now, I'm going to be answering all your questions here at the end of my 3 tips. So please leave them in the chat because I'll be pulling them up on YouTube and on Facebook and answering them individually. But let's jump into the second tip that I have for you as well. So I'm going to pull up this one here, and it is to don't recreate the wheel. Here's what happens is we focus on creating content, but we're focused on creating, different ideas all across these different platforms. So what I mean by don't recreate the wheel. Think about your one platform, right? That I said was tip number one, and figure out how you can use that everywhere else. Right. So for me, next week, I'm going to be doing a video on YouTube about why YouTube. Why should you be on YouTube? Little sneak peek here, right? And so instead of me needing to come up with all these other ideas across social media, I'm staying focused on that particular theme. I can take out pieces and snippets of that video that I planned for, that I recorded, and redo it in an Instagram story, redo it in an Instagram reel, redo it in an Instagram post. And so I've already come up with this content. I've already researched it. I'm just chunking it out in other places so that I have content depending where y'all are hanging out, right? Because some of you like to hang out on Instagram, some of you like to hang out on YouTube, and that's why I'm trying to do as many platforms here as possible. But don't try to come up with new content for every single platform every single day. Reuse your primary piece of content, which for me is YouTube, and then sprinkle out all the bits and pieces that you came up for that piece of content everywhere else. Okay. Stop recreating the wheel. You don't need to come up with new stuff every single day on Instagram, right? We're not seeing everything you're posting, anyways. And guess what? Lifespan of an Instagram piece of content is 48 hours. So now let's move into my third tip. And I do have a bonus tip because I had to share this bonus tip, but I want to share the third tip that I have for you. And I know it can be a little bit scary, but outsourcing. And let me tell you about outsourcing for me. I was a baby business owner. I had a baby, two babies at home, my very first year in my business in 2017. And one thing that I saw was I was getting a lot of traffic from Pinterest, not only to my YouTube channel, but to my website as well. And I couldn't keep up with Pinterest, but I knew it was big for me. And I knew it was gaining a lot of traffic for me. So the very first thing that I outsourced, the very first thing that was scary as heck to invest in is I got somebody to take over my Pinterest, to put my Pinterest pins up on Pinterest and do it right because I saw that Pinterest was huge for me. Pinterest was driving me traffic to my YouTube videos. It was driving me traffic to my website. It was getting people on my email list. And so I outsourced somebody a few $100s for the month to put my Instagram strategy in place and keep my Pinterest strategy in place and keep my Pinterest going. At the time, this was just like $300 a month, but it was driving me so much traffic and the ROI was 100% there. So when I say outsource, think about what you can outsource that is worth it. Don't just like, I need a VA, right? I've done that the hard way too. When I went to go get my next outsourcing piece, I was just like, I need an assistant to help me with all the things. And it didn't really work out. Like I didn't have a plan in place. I didn't really know, what was the best way to get them into my business where you know exactly what you need help with. And if it's with content, you could get somebody to help you with video editing, right? With design graphics, somebody helping you create those Instagram carousels, Pinterest pins, right? Maybe you need somebody to help you write captions. Like you like creating the graphics and you like editing, but you need somebody to create the captions. Think of something very specific that you can get help with because it's not going to cost you a lot of money. Like I said, a couple $100s. I think at the time it was $300 for me to outsource my Pinterest strategy. And that was so huge on ROI. And it saved me probably about 3 to 4 hours of my time every single month because every single week because I didn't want to have to keep scheduling my pins to go out to make the Pinterest algorithm happy at the time. So definitely think about outsourcing and it doesn't have to be a huge investment. It can be something small. Now, this bonus tip that I have for you, it's really important. And it's you got to pick the platform that you love creating content for. I said I am on YouTube because one, it has a lot of benefits that we're going to talk about on my YouTube video on Wednesday. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you are. But I like creating YouTube videos. I like talking to camera. Live streaming is a little bit, I get a bit nervous on here. It's not my favorite to be committed to a time and a place. I don't like to be told what to do, when to do it. And so that's why YouTube has just been fun for me. If I could, I mentioned in my stories today, my Instagram stories today, if I could, I would create YouTube videos every single day. I would edit them. That's what I would spend all my time doing. If you love speaking to a microphone and doing a podcast, focus on that being your one piece of content and sprinkle it everywhere, right? If you love doing reels and TikToks, I'm just dabbling, I'm just starting this month, then focus there. but pick something that you love because that's how content creation isn't going to burn you out and it's going to spark your creativity and it's going to keep that um creativity there because if you're forcing yourself to be on YouTube and you don't love it, I'm going to tell you don't do it. Even though I love it and I think you should, if you hate it, don't do it. If you like doing podcasts, then do that instead. And so that's such a huge tip right here. Now, before I jump into any questions that you have, start popping them in the comments or the chat. I wanted to tell you this is the start of a live series that I'm doing. And next week, here on my YouTube channel, Facebook, and Instagram at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Monday, I'm going to be sharing how you can make a sale every single day with YouTube. Now, like I said, you pick the platform that you love best, but since I'm a YouTube strategist, I'm really going to be focusing on YouTube. And so, like I said, next week, I'm going to share with you how you can make a sale every single day on YouTube by using the strategy I'm going to share with you. So make sure you put this in your calendar. So, like, literally go put this in your calendar right now, next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so you don't miss this live stream. Again, leave me your questions right now because I'm going to be answering them here in just 1 minute. I do have a big ask for you. If you have an audience or you know anybody who's also struggling with content creation burnout, go ahead and share this to your Instagram, to your YouTube, whatever you want to do. But I want you all to know, like, content creation burnout is a thing. And it's not something that we struggle with as, a business owner making less than six figures versus a business owner making more than six figures. I've worked with business owners making seven figures, and we all struggle with content creation burnout. So don't think you're alone. Don't think you're the only one dealing with this. Don't think, this is just because you don't have enough people on your team or you need a team member, you need to make more money. This is something going on across the board. So share this video with anybody that you know that could resonate with the content creation burnout that they need to know as well. Like, it's not just them. It's not just them dealing with content creation burnout. So I'm going to go over to the chat. If you are on Instagram, please leave me any comments or questions. I did see a question earlier on Instagram that says, so how do you edit your landscape videos for social that use portrait? That's getting technical. Right now, I am live streaming on Instagram in vertical format, and I have my webcam linked up to Restream, which is a streaming provider that allows me to live stream on YouTube and Facebook through one camera. So that's how I'm doing this both because guess what? I want to kill two birds with one stone. um, how often should one post? This is a great question on Instagram. And then I'll go over here to YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, leave me a comment and I will be answering them here in just one moment. So, how often should you post? Honestly, I recommend what works for your schedule. For me, I literally just post on YouTube once a week. I tested back in January through March, posting 2 videos a week on YouTube, and I didn't see any difference from when I was posting on YouTube twice a week versus one time a week. So I just focus on getting one video up on YouTube once a week because that's what I can handle while dealing with my agency and my clients and my team that I'm building. And then honestly, Instagram has just been kind of like whenever I feel like it. I just posted last week the first time on Instagram in over a month. And like I said, we're going to be playing around with Reels and TikTok, but you want to find something that works for you. But I think if you can do once a week, at least on YouTube, it's great. Instagram's probably going to require you a little bit more if you want to actually be seen. I think people who really know Instagram and the strategies on Instagram, like a reel 5 days a week, maybe. And honestly, on Instagram, if you aren't doing some type of video content, it's going to be really hard to break out with what Instagram is doing over there. So what are some tips to growing your social media? Awesome. So I would also suggest you determine what is your goal for social media. Listen, I have a small YouTube channel. It's like 50,000 subscribers, and that's considered small in the YouTube education world. But I made over $500,000 in my business with a small YouTube channel. And I'm going to tell you, I've seen behind the scenes of some large YouTube channels, and they're not making that kind of money because I'm focused on creating a social media strategy that leads my target audience into my business. So I saw Sonia was here earlier, and Sonia mentioned that she dove into my prep system. Where did I see that? I was scrolling through my Instagram here to see that comment. And so my whole goal with my Instagram is for you all to get to know me, get to trust me, and want to try something that I have to offer, whether that's my prep system, which is my complete YouTube workflow, whether it's working with me in my Done For You agency, whether it's ultimately getting into my signature program, Video Strategy Academy. But my goal isn't to grow a social media account. My goal is to get the right people seeing me, um wanting what I have to offer. And so my question would be, not like, how do you want to, what do you want to grow? What is your goal for being on social media? For me, it's leads. For me, it's growing my email list. For me, it's sales. So each video that I put on YouTube has a specific goal, and it's either to watch a video, get my free opt-in, or buy something from me. Those are my three goals for every single video that I publish on YouTube. So I'm never like trying to grow numbers. I challenge you to think that way. Now, I'm going to go over here to Kara, and I'm going to put Kara's comment up on the screen. Do you think lives are important now? I heard both lives used to be important and that lives are still important to do. Great question, because here I am live. Um, we'll see. So I do a lot of things here on my YouTube channel to test. I test a lot of things. Last year, we tested putting podcast episodes on my channel. We also tested live streams on my channel as well. Spoiler alert, putting podcasts on my YouTube channel killed it, basically. Lives basically didn't really do much. For me, my purpose of going live right now is to connect with you, to answer your questions. We're working on building visibility right now, and I want to get out here, share more content. And for me, it's easier to kind of go live than it is to create a individual YouTube video, just because of all the stuff that's going on. So you going live is a great strategy for community building, which is what we're doing here, because I can talk to you, I can have this conversation with you. But I need to make sure that I'm promoting this so that y'all are showing up. I sent an email out this morning. I started talking about it last week. I told you guys, like, this is something I'm doing every single Monday so that you're here live so I can have this two-way conversation with you. I'm asking you to leave your questions in the comments. So my strategy for live here on YouTube is to connect with you. Typically, lives don't have much of a lifespan after a day, if I'm lucky, because people on YouTube are accustomed to watching YouTube content a certain way. And so that's why I also have my weekly YouTube videos still coming out for my YouTube strategy, but my lives are particularly for community building, answering your questions live and connecting with you. So once we have some data on these lives, what we do is in our analytics, we group them together and we look at, did these lives do anything? Did they grow us subscribers? Did they grow us views? Like, what ultimately did these lives do? And then I can give you the data on what it says. But until then, since we're testing this, I will let you know, Claire. Any other questions that you guys have? Because this is super short, super sweet. That's what I'm trying to keep these all of August, every single Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, next week, we're going to be talking about how to make one sale every single day on YouTube. So I'm going to throw it out here at last minute for any questions. If you have any questions about content creation, anything like that, I'll give you just a couple seconds. Sonia says she's still here. So I hope you're enjoying these live streams. I hope you can, get some questions answers when it comes to content. Get some questions answered when it comes to content creation. I really want this time to be a place where we can have a conversation. So if I would love for you to come on Mondays, come with some questions, since next week is all about making sales on YouTube. If anything pops into your head the next couple days about, well, what about this or what about that? Write them down, bring them here next week for this live. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next week. Thanks for being here. Bye.